The collector car market is keeping dream cars alive because with the way the prices keep going, it's keeping them in your dreams and out of your driveway. But today, I got these grubby little paws on a car that I thought had slipped out of reach forever. So you know I got a good deal on it, and there's definitely a weird story behind it. Let me show you. This is my new to me 1988 BMW M3. Honestly cannot believe that this car is in our shop. I mean, an E30 M3. This is a car that was once a $10,000 car, but during the pandemic, it managed to grow another zero. They've since come down a bit in price, but honestly, they're still a lot more expensive than they used to be. But the biggest problem for me is that they're still a lot more expensive than the newer and arguably better versions of it. Like this E92 M3, which is a much better car. And for the first time ever this holiday season, I'm giving it to one of you guys. Every dollar you spend on driversera.com gets you a chance to win one of the greatest driver's cars from the era that we love. That's why I called it Driver's Era. I'm not that clever. It has an 8,600 RPM V8 with individual throttle bodies, a 6-speed manual, carbon fiber roof, and it's rear-wheel drive. Cars like this don't get made anymore. I've also spent the last week completely modifying it to be the ultimate street and track car. But if you want it to still be a bit more OEM, well, you could have the entire red interior to put it back to stock. Now, through December 17th, every dollar you spend on the website gets you a chance to win. Amy actually designed a ton of new t-shirts, hats, hoodies, crew necks, and accessories. So make sure to go to the website, check it out, and maybe you could win the greatest generation of M3 ever made. And I'm not kidding, the E92 is a much better car when you're talking about driving experience. There's a lot more vehicular theater with driving that compared to a stock E30 M3. But this car is heroic. It started an entire movement, and for someone like me, a huge M3 fanboy who has owned every single generation of the M3. Besides this, it has always been the Great White Buffalo, a car that I have chased and wanted forever and never thought I'd be able to have. So if you don't know why this car is so legendary, let's take a little walk around. I get this a lot on the channel. You guys know I'm a BMW nerd and some of you guys don't like it. But if you don't understand why the BMW M3 is so damn cool, I'm gonna give you a quick explainer. First off, the E30 M3 debuted in 1986 and it was made until 1991. That's not that cool. But you know what is cool? The reasons why it was made. The M3 was literally born because of racing. Homologation rules stated that they had to make 5,000 units to be sold to the general public in the first 12 months to compete in Group A. And if you don't know what Group A is, I'm sure you have seen these 3 letters together. DTM. DTM racing is literally the coolest era of racing, and it's what made these cars absolutely legendary. And Group A racing is actually why these cars are equipped with a 4-cylinder, unlike the base model 328s that had the bigger but less powerful 6-cylinder M20. But this car actually had a 4-cylinder, a 2.3 liter known as the S14 that made 190 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. Back in 1986, making that much power out of a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder was insane. The engine was actually derived from Le Mans. The turbocharged version of the S14 lived in the race cars, and it was repurposed into the street car in naturally aspirated form. Crazy. But the M3 is not only just about the performance, and to be honest, the reason why everyone thinks it's so cool is all of the superficial stuff. The M3 is packed with visual upgrades. It's wide body with the best design coming from the 80s and 90s called box flares. It's got a unique body kit that is bespoke to the M3 and the deep-seated nerd stuff that only BMW losers will know. It's got a different angle rear windshield, and the front and rear windshields actually have flush mounted glass to help the drag efficient get bumped up from a 0.37 to a 0.33. That means the design of the windshields help the car move through the air smoother. That's loser talk. I just read that this morning, so I had to add that because that's like incredibly lame. But it's all the stuff that make this unmistakable for a base 3 Series. Even if you don't know anything about cars, if you see this thing driving down the road, you know it's something special. The M3 was such a success when it was made that even though they only had to make 5,000 of them, BMW ended up producing 17,000 M3s worldwide, but only 5,000 made it to the US. So why are they so damn expensive? Because 17,000 isn't that rare, and 5,000 in the US isn't even that rare. Especially because these things have been eligible for import for over 10 years. So there's plenty of them here. So why did it take me so long to get one? So why I never owned this? Pretty simple. When they were cheap, I had no money. And then when I figured out how to make money, they were expensive. And I thought there were a lot of better options out there. But enough of me yapping. Let's get this thing out on the road and I'll tell you the story about how I got it. So I haven't driven the E30 M3 more than just down the freeway and from my house to the shop, which consists of literally the most boring driving you could ever imagine. Straight lines and about 100 stoplights. So we're gonna take the car up to the mountains to really see where the spirit of the M3 is. Honestly, at first take, I love the look of it. I love how nostalgic it feels. I love being inside the cockpit of an E30. It feels identical to my Daytona Violet E30 Touring, which was a 4 horsepower base model wagon. So it doesn't feel inherently special in here. Everything is the same, but I do love the size and the feel of a classic BMW. The E30 is like absolutely spectacular inside. I do wish the seats sat a little bit lower, but that's every car. But overall, on the road, the E30 M3 just isn't really speaking to me right off the bat. Not fast, but it's a car from the mid-80s. It doesn't sound super special. The induction noise is actually pretty quiet despite having ITBs. The shifter's really nice, the steering feels good, like everything's great, but I'm just not like smitten by it on the street. So we're gonna go take it up to the canyons, go see if this thing really starts to wake up in the twisties. So I got one reason for this car. Boy math. I got offered this car for an incredible deal because someone actually won this car from a giveaway. My friend Jose, Type R Jose on Instagram, he gives away cars all the time. And I actually entered to win this one. I'm giving away a car, but I entered to win one because I always enter giveaways for cars that I won't buy but really want. And I normally wouldn't have bought this car at like normal market price, but the dude who won it didn't want it, had nowhere to put it, and didn't really want to deal with selling it. So I actually went over to Jose's shop because I was doing a pre-purchase inspection for a friend who was looking at a R32 GTR. And when we pulled up, the dude who won this car was just getting there too. So, you know, I had to give him a little bit of for winning a car that I wanted. And he actually told me the whole deal. He didn't want it, didn't want to deal with selling it. And he threw a price at me that I could not refuse. In my brain, it's I can buy a car that I've always wanted for a great price, below market value, drive it for a bit, and if I decide it's not for me, then I could pass it along to someone else who will really enjoy it. But there's pretty much no risk in losing money on it. Now I have an E30 M3, and now I wanna go drive this thing because I wanna see what the hell it feels like, because as of right now, I'm not that into it. The thing with low torque engines, you don't really get a lot of around town punch that make you like feel like, whoa, this is so fast. You really need to like momentum drive the car and rev it quite high. So I think getting out into the mountains will help this car really come to life. Oh yeah, the high RPM is cool. Not fast, but you know, it's fun. It feels lively at the high RPMs. Steering wheel's a bit big. The AO52s have a ton of grip. It's plenty quick, you know, these are tighter roads up here, and I feel like it's plenty fast. It definitely lacks the torque on the bottom end that makes it a little bit less exciting, but you know, when you're high in the RPMs and you're cruising, this thing feels good. The steering wheel is ridiculous. This is a M-Tech 2 steering wheel, and it's still entirely too big. It feels horrendous, but steering input is great. Car sounds cool, exhaust is super quiet, it's got an Eisenman muffler on it, stock cats and everything, KW Club Sport coilovers. Feels cool, yeah, I like it. Steering wheel is horrible, I can't stop saying it. And honestly, on a tight road, like, this thing feels like all the power I want. This is the same road that I took the G82 up and I hated it. I felt that it was just too much car for a small road to have fun on. And this is the exact opposite. You could drive this thing 8, 9 tenths on public roads and not really be breaking the law, and also just like not out of control. This engine's cool up top. Above 6,000 RPM is really when this thing starts to eat. Trans on this car feels great too. Nice short ratio diff. All right, I wanted to come up here and not like it because I don't really have a need for another car. I don't have space for another car. And I was hoping I would just be like, this car's so boring, I don't care. But it's pretty fun. So things that I think that this car could really benefit from is more front camber, because I noticed it has almost none. And when looking under the hood, I noticed that the camber plates are actually set up with very minimal caster. And I think that you could improve front end sharpness by adding negative caster and negative camber at this car to really get the front end feeling really sharp and get rid of this steering wheel that I hate so much. But this honestly isn't the type of car I want to chase power with. It's quick enough on its own, and I think I would just want a little bit more exhaust noise and a bit more induction noise, because that would not make it much faster, but I think it would make the experience a lot better. Because after all, we're really only chasing experience in this car. It's not all out performance. Flat out, which is the cool part. You could just go flat right through the corner, no drama, it just kind of goes. It doesn't have enough power. This thing is sick. I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I would. Little suspension work and this thing will be money. This car has a bit more theater when it comes to sound and performance, and around town has enough power to be pretty fun. But listen to this induction noise. Insane. And it is quick enough that, you know, around town it lacks a lot of torque, but it feels quick. It feels fast, for lack of better words, because we know nowadays fast cars mean literally nothing. But this is a really good street blend for a car. It's just like, sounds incredible, steering sharp, it's comfortable, the AC works great, the radio sounds good, like the whole thing is sick. Oh my God, the carbon airbox. Right now I have the valves closed on the exhaust so that you can really get the induction noise to sing, and it is so good. It definitely makes me realize that I like cars from the late 90s all the way through the 2010s. It's so good. It's really when like performance and driving experience were in perfect harmony. It wasn't too much technology, but it was enough that the cars performed incredible. And I think that's just really my sweet spot. And it's why I did the driver's era, because it's the cars that I love the most. And like the E30 feels awesome, but it doesn't hold a candle to the E92. Just listen to this thing. Insane. And also, don't mind the harnesses making some noise, and all the dash lights will be coated out, but we just finished the build. We're gonna get it all dialed in for you guys. Dude, it's so sick. For these canyons, oh my God. But it's still manageable. The low torque makes it easy to drive. But this is a power range that I think is still fun for around town. Oh my God, it's so good! Oh man, maybe I should give the E30 away and keep this thing. This truly is the best generation M3. I don't care what anyone says. This is it. This is better than the E30. This thing's so sick. Okay, now that I forgot what this car was about because the E92 is so good, I figured I didn't even give you guys like a full breakdown on this exact car. So obviously it's an 88 M3, which is my birth year, which makes me kind of want it more. It's Alpine white over Cardinal red, which is like the iconic color combination. It's the same color combo that the E92 was, except that's called Fox red. But this car's got a couple really choice upgrades. Under the hood, as we saw before, this car still has the S14 engine, which I wanted to point out because everyone who sees this car asks me if it still has the original engine. Back in the late 2000s, everyone was putting S50 and S52s in these cars because they were a bit more reliable and they made a little bit more power. But honestly, the S52 is the E36 engine, and it is the least special engine out of all generations of M3. So I'm really happy it has this. It also has KW Club Sport coilovers with ground control camber plates. And this is something super unique to this car. These are so rare. These are 16x8 plus 15 TE37 OGs made specifically for the E30 M3. They also have Yokohama AO52s, which is a tire that I absolutely love. So this thing rips. And this is not the OEM wing. This is actually an OEM Evo 2 wing, and it has an adjustable carbon fiber gurney flap that you could slide in or out to get more downforce. But to be honest, you run it all the way up because it's cool. And then it's got an Eisenman exhaust, which is pretty OG for the time. It's super quiet, which is pretty shocking. Ironically enough, it's the same brand exhaust that came on the E92 M3. But other than that, it's just a super clean, mostly stock car. And it came with literally a stack of receipts showing all the maintenance back since 1991. I don't know. Now I'm sort of at this time where I'm like, what do I do with this car? I think if I keep it, I would want to do some mods to it, whether it's like a carbon fiber airbox and open up the exhaust a little bit, like a tune, lower the driver's seat, put a smaller wheel on it, and try to get a bit more of like excitement out of it. Or I would really want to put an S54 in it. But that's a huge project, so I don't really know what I want to do yet. So I think what I want to know is, what do you guys think I should do? Should I keep this thing as is and just drive it and enjoy it and leave it alone? Should I do a bunch of bolt-on modifications to the S14? Should I swap a S54 in it? Or should I just sell it and move on and realize that like, this car I had fun with? But the second I got behind the wheel of E92, I was like grinning ear to ear. And maybe it is that I really just love drivers era cars the most, which is really like mid 90s through the 2010s. I don't know, it's hard. I'm not the type of guy that will buy a car just for the way it looks. And this car is really just a vibes car to me, whereas like that's an experience car. So I'm torn, guys. I don't know what to do here. All I know is I'm so thankful I was able to experience this car and I was able to get my hands on something so friggin' incredible. Because don't get me wrong, as much as I'm downplaying it, this is an amazing car. It's just whether it's for me or not. So thank you everyone who's been watching. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to win that M3, go to driverserror.com, buy some stuff. Christmas morning, we'll be announcing the winner. Hopefully it's you. For now, we got Canyon Road to drive.